It is impossible to penetrate the mystery of the initial explosion. Big Bang. By analogy with the history of the atomic bomb, we can conclude that it is here that the beginning of evil, the beginning of the perversion of science and technology, can be found. The one who made the first explosion in the universe, visible with earthly bodily eyes, made it out of evil motives, even if it was the result of a chance, an accident. In this explosion are the origins of creating pairs of opposites, atoms, particles, astral winds, celestial mechanics and chemistry, laws, time, attraction, and the eternal return of the same. Cosmic clouds, luminaries, suns, galaxies emerged from this explosion, and everything began to spread, expand, move in search of some vital mechanical space. This is the imperialism of matter, the universe of visible light, and its inexorable laws. This is an invasion that occurs at the sacrifice of something that appears to be nothing, but that in reality is the other universe, governed not by the mechanical laws of the explosion, but by other laws, or without a law at all, as Nietzsche defined it. Let's call this universe the universe of the spirit. To imagine the effects, let us turn to the very first explosion and the spread of its virus in another universe, defined as nothing. It is very difficult to comprehend how the material universe, subject to exact laws, basic laws of chemistry, can rely on nothing, not being itself permanently created, which contradicts the finite number of its mechanical combinations. But in the ever-repeated return of the same is where the base is formed, which supports its real or illusory existence. However, due to the gravitational entropy, this expansion would have to be limited if the circle of return did not feed on the energy that it steals from this other universe, where this energy is infinite, distorting it with a thirst for power, an ever-renewing vampire action, enslaving time incarnate in God Kronos, transforming him into an ionic minion, into a Mitraik Zavan. The circle of eternal return expands the sphere of its spread, penetrating into another universe, invading it, distorting its original purity, as a seducer, as an imperialist. It feeds on this purity, this blood, which enables it to continue its existence and perpetuate its ultimate energy through such expansion. This circle and the enslavement resulting from it expand, repeating. Like a blurring spot, evil spreads its corrupting influence, its terrifying purpose, its space, and its time. Imperialism is the beginning of decline. Chronos, time, orbits around a point, just as we move around Chronos' Saturn. This movement generates gravitational waves that absorb our energy and lead us to death. The expansion of the visible universe takes place along tactical spirals in accordance with the deployment strategy, like loops. Therefore, the eternal return loses its power in each turn. And so on one of its turns begins Ragnarök, twilight of the gods, in the final of Kali Yuga, the Iron Age, this aeon. The solar wind can reach the zone of great silence, total silence, where no vibration seems to reach, and even the light is absorbed by the black holes, the black sun, or the star tube, the swastika, where everything collapses on itself, everything that is visible and known to rational mind. This implosion, from the Latin implodere, literally collapsing or being squeezed in on itself. This is a step towards a different universe, towards antimatter, which develops in a different direction and with a different time reigning within. Time still unapplied, the backup time. The God, not yet embodied, not yet nailed to the midday rock of the eternal return. Eternity is unused time, time stored in reserve. Mechanical, explosion-based science believes that the visible universe is about 10 million years old and that it will cease to exist in a certain period. The wise rishis of Vedic India defined the periods of the eternal return as kalpas, manvantaras, and yugas, circles within other circles. We are currently approaching end, where the stream of being meets with the open mouth of wolf Fenrir. We are approaching the end of Kali Yuga, the fourth stage, the Iron Age. The previous three were bronze, silver, and gold. Golden Age was the original paradise. Our cosmogony also knows about the fifth era, which will come as a result of the judgment of Kali Yuga. About the Lead Age, the age of indescribable horror. These are the symbolic figures of tantric alchemy, and it is with lead that the process of involution begins again, after its transmutation into something else, after returning to the Golden Age, to Satya Yuga. In the Lead Age, the great work of heroes will begin again. There, through implosion or anti-gravitational science, victory over entropy, over attrition and fatigue of matter will be possible. Epochs will be built in the reverse order until drinking gold alchemical gold, aurum potabile, which grants immortality in the body of red Vraja, Rubero, red star giants, is not obtained. This can be achieved before the onset of the end, by making a leap to the other universe, the exit. Aryan rishis apply the name Vraja to this red matter, stopped just at the critical moment of its expansion, imperialism and attrition, enshrined in white dwarf, a little before the second, final stage of its decline, in order to turn into the nebula mummy, which weighs the same as lead, or to disintegrate in a reverse explosion, putting its lost matter into the womb of a curiosity, resembling a golem robot that feeds on this destruction, so as to start everything again in another kalpa, in other cycles, within the eternal return. It is said that the world is a thought rather than a machine. In that case, it is a bad thought, and rather a nightmare than a dream. Injured invention, monstrous imitation, the perversion of something that was other.